What's up, sales commanders? Do you see this face? Do you see this face? This is the face of a super nerd who has been working on these numbers here for a little bit after I had a conversation with somebody who told me about the 10-10-10 rule, which I've never heard of before, and I still can't figure out who came up with it, but I was on a Zoom call with my friend earlier, Dave Scatchard, and he's Canadian, ex-NHL player, super cool guy, and super successful. And he said he was talking about the 10-10-10 rule. So he has also a restaurant, and he said, Jay, if I increase prices in my restaurant by 10%, I make X amount of dollars more. If I increase traffic in my restaurant, I make 10% more. By 10%, he makes X amount more. So he ran through those numbers with me. So I Googled 10-10-10 rule, and all I could find was like some crap about 10 minutes of decision making or something. So anyway, I don't know who came up with it, but what it prompted me to do got me super excited for you and for me, because it's about conversion rates. And it's hard to understand sometimes unless it's super simple, and this is super simple and it auto calculates. So let me explain this. On this side, the left side, look at that. You can't see my mouse, can you? Okay. Well, I'm moving my mouse right now, if you didn't know that. On the left-hand side, these are all numbers that you would input. Oh, look at that. Abracadabra. You can see my mouse. Awesome. So these are all inputable numbers. So what's your average sales price? Let's say it's $250,000. Look at the days that you're going to work for the year. So let's say there's 5 days a week, 52 weeks. That's 260 days. And then maybe you take 20 days off for vacations and holidays and that kind of stuff. You can play around with it and put whatever number you want. I really don't care. That's up to you. But for this example, we're going to say 240. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I have some kind of airborne in my office. It's like a moth or something. I don't know what it is, but hours worked per day, let's just say 8. Contacts per day, let's call it 21. This is for outbound calling. Contacts, right? Contacts, the more people you talk to, the more money you make. Hopefully you know that by now. If not, gotta tell somebody. Let's figure it out. Contacts total, 3,100. 66 listing appointments, and actually, no. You know what? That contacts. This one's not even supposed to be there. That's not even in the calculation. No, it is. All right. Yeah. Never mind. Contacts. Okay. Listing appointments. Listing appointment to listings taken, and listings taken to listings sold. So here's what I want you to look at. With the listing appointments to listings taken, how much do you think that if you change your percentage by 10% from your listing appointments that you go on to your listings that you take? So if you get 10% better at converting someone from an appointment to a listing, right? Sign in. 10% better. How much do you think your income will go up? Because on this side, this is all auto-calculated. These are all formulas that this geeky guy put into place because I just kind of dig that. And yeah. So listings taken in this case is 39.6. So that's, if you look at listing appointments, 66, and appointments versus taken, that's 60%, that's 39.6. And that equals $173,745 based on this example. Now, if you are like my wife and you're expressive and you hate numbers, then you're looking at this spreadsheet and you're like, what the fuck, Jay? Would you just please plug in a number so I can see how much more I can make if I do a better job at a listing appointment to getting them to sign, yes, I'm going to do that just for you right now. But I'm also going to do a couple of other things for everybody else who loves to see this stuff. All right, listing appointments to listings taken. Dun, 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 dun. Let's calculate it at 70%. Okay, bam! You just made an extra $30K by increasing your listing appointment to listings taken conversion rate. An extra $30,000. And what I did for you is I even broke down how much your time is worth per hour. Because if you put in how many hours you work a day, let's say on average 8, and then total days work 240, if you're making this amount of money and this amount of hours, this is how much you're worth per hour, $105 per hour. Okay, so if you are spending time doing nothing, you're wasting $105 per hour. Now let's look at it a different way. Let's look at what does an extra, let's see if this one, oh, okay, just actually let me just point this out. So 7,500 is an average total commission based on the average sales price, and that's just assumed at 3%. Now you might be getting paid 2% or 6% or 20%, I don't know, but I'm just assuming that number. And I also threw in a number to be conservative of 90% that you are taking home, and 10% you're giving to your broker with no cap. I just put that in there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm getting attacked by a moth. And I hope that I don't have more in here. Jesus. Okay. So all of you expressives that are still watching this, congrats. I'm surprised that you are. But analyticals, enjoy. So 90%, I just put that in there to have some kind of calculation, and then that's obviously really conservative, because in that case, that would mean that you are, almost $750 times however many listings that you have sold, 75, so yeah, it's about 21 grand to the broker, so okay, that's fair enough. All right, so let's do this. What happens if you look at these numbers, these conversion rates, what you have in place? What happens if you move up your average sales price by 10%? Pow, pow, pow. I don't know if you get as excited as I do for this stuff, but I do, because look at that number in the bottom right. Watch that number when I move this dial to 275,000. All you did was move it to 275,000, and pow! You just brought your income up another $20,000 just by increasing your average sales price by a measly 25,000. Now let me ask you this. Can you increase your sales price by an extra 25,000? That's it. That's not that much. That's not that much. Well, let's say that you got better listings taken to listing sold ratio. So you're better at, and this, everything's in the numbers when you run a business. So when you look at this, you know where you need to improve specifically. So let's say listings taken to listings sold. This means that you've probably gotten better at your servicing the listings, your owner weekly calls. You could be better at your onboarding process and setting expectations. So for example, sign listing paperwork. You know what? Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Seller. This is what happens next. I'm going to have this, 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 and this. So what you're doing is you're creating certainty in the seller, and they're more willing, when they feel that you got a solid operation, they're more willing to do what you ask them to do, which, let's say that they might be overpriced or the property is inferior to others on the market. They'll make those moves quicker. Your listings taken to listing sold ratio will go up. Now, let's just bump that up to 75%. If we bump that up to 75%, Papaya, we just made you more money. That increased by 30. Well, here, hold on. I didn't really pay attention to exactly how much it increased. So let's see. 257 from 222. So damn, that's what, $35,000 just by increasing your listings taken to listing sold ratio. Bananas, right? I mean, it's so simple that if you just know and you keep track of these numbers, and it's easy to keep track of, but if you just keep track of these numbers, you'll know exactly how much your time is worth per hour. Okay? You'll know exactly how much more you're going to make if you see these results, you see these rewards, you start feeling better about, you know what? I need to practice. I need to practice my scripts when I'm at an appointment so that I can get the signature. Because I know if I do that and I only increase 10%, which, come on, you can give it more, you can give it 10% more, right? We all have an extra 10% to give. If you have an extra 10% to give in these 3 different areas, then that number just went up, what? 50, 70, about 100,000, almost $100,000, like 80 or 90 grand, which is, which is a lot more money than you were making before in this scenario. So that is that, and that is awesome. So hopefully this provided you with some great clarity. It got me super excited because I love seeing this stuff. And if you haven't yet seen the 3 deals in 30 days challenge, the link should be below. If not, I'll put it there now. But I put together 3 deals in 30 days challenge, which is really when I moved from Florida recently to North Carolina. I've been selling real estate for a while, for 15 years. And I never moved. It was always in Southwest Florida. And then we decided that we have 2 6-year-olds. My wife and I, we decided we live life once, one time, one chance to give our kids everything that they need. And what they need is to be around other kids around their age that will help them thrive in a neighborhood that's like really supportive. Southwest Florida is cool, but it's a great place to retire. Charlotte, North Carolina is a great place to raise a family. So that's why we did that. And, we had to have a plan before we did. And one of the things that we put together was the 3 deals in 30 days, which is the exact roadmap of what I would do if I was moving to a whole new area. And it's step by step, day by day, and each day is released after the next. And there's videos, there's resources, there's downloadable stuff, there's sheets like this in there. There's a whole bunch of cool things. So and it's for free. Free is good. I like free. You like free? As long as it's valuable and it doesn't waste my time, because your time is worth $134 an hour in this example, and we don't want to waste that. So, boom. See you later, and talk to you soon.